Hi, I'm Liz Schrum for the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show. Just ahead, Tom Still lays out an option for debating proposed cuts to the UW system budget. And Derek High, who leads the Weissman Biomanufacturing Center, talks about the importance of that UW-Madison asset to state companies. And now, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report. Rising, Exact Sciences. This Wisconsin success story keeps getting better. Exact has won federal approvals for its non-invasive test for colon cancer and is poised to disrupt the healthcare market. Since relocating from Boston in 2009, Exact has grown from 2 employees to more than 400. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation has now approved up to $9 million in tax credits if the company produces another 750 jobs and invests $26 million in its own growth. And falling, right-to-work opposition. Some private sector union leaders think it is inevitable that the legislature will pass a law making Wisconsin a right-to-work state. Right-to-work laws ban labor contracts in the private sector that require workers to pay union dues. Lawmakers could take up the bill soon, and Governor Scott Walker has said he would sign it if it reaches his desk. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
The Wisconsin legislature has a massive to-do list. It must debate a $68 billion state budget in the next few months that includes sweeping changes to health care, support for local governments, highway maintenance, and much more. By the way, tucked into that 1,800-page document is a plan to cut $300 million from the UW system budget over 2 years. That's a lot of heavy lifting between now and July 1st, when the next fiscal year starts. Can lawmakers get it all done? Well, sure, but they might want some help framing the UW budget debate from others before it votes. Questions that could be up for discussion within a quick turnaround commission include: how can the UW system best absorb a $300 million cut, if that's the final number? Should it be spread over 2 years, or 4, or more? Does it make sense for state government to provide just 20% of the UW system's total budget, but to exercise so much control over its tuition, capital projects, personnel decisions, and more? Rather than inflicting pain across all campuses, should the UW system consider closing those 4 or 2-year campuses that fail to attract enough students to truly pay for themselves? Does it make sense for state government to freeze all tuition rates? Freezing in-state undergraduate tuition is one thing, but shouldn't market forces guide how much the UW can charge out-of-state students, graduate students, and students in its professional schools? What efficiencies could be gained from more coordination between the UW system's 13 2-year campuses and the state's 16 technical college districts? Does the state need a second major research and development campus? That has worked for states such as Michigan and Iowa, but has never slowed down others such as Minnesota. And if Wisconsin does need a second R&D university, most naturally UW-Milwaukee, how can the UW system best support its efforts? If teaching time is truly a priority, as Governor Scott Walker has suggested, isn't it time to stop pretending that other 4-year campuses outside of Madison and Milwaukee have the horsepower to conduct major research? Has faculty governance and the notion of tenure outlived its usefulness in the 21st century? Or does it remain necessary to insulate professors from political whim? Finally, what is the full economic impact of the university on the Wisconsin economy? That begins with the UW's biggest product, its students, who are needed to fill tomorrow's jobs, but extends to company creation, company assistance, and more. Perhaps the legislature will go it alone on these vital questions, but asking for concurrent help from others outside the Capitol can't hurt. The University of Wisconsin has been around for more than 150 years. Taking a little extra time to carefully consider its future only makes sense.
Thanks, Tom. We'll be right back with Derek High of the Weissman Biomanufacturing Center.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
We're back with Derek High, Director of the Weissman Biomanufacturing Center. Welcome to the show, Derek.
Thank you.
What is the mission of the Weissman Biomanufacturing Center?
Weissman Biomanufacturing is a support facility located at the University of Wisconsin Weissman Center, and our primary mission is to help biotech companies and academic investigators as they're moving from research into early stage human clinical trials. So typically one of the biggest challenges that groups in this area will face is getting their drug manufactured according to the Food and Drug Administration's current good manufacturing practice guidelines. Weisman Biomanufacturing has a specialized cleanroom facility, staff, and equipment that help these groups to address this challenge and get their drugs made for early stage clinical trials.
The center obviously serves clients on the UW-Madison campus, but it also works with private academic clients in Wisconsin and beyond. How do you help them?
That's correct. So most of our companies that we're working with are actually licensing technologies from academic institutions like UW. And so they all face the same issue of making that transition from early stage research into early stage manufacturing and going into clinical trials. So my group will work with companies and investigators to develop a manufacturing process and quality control test methods, and then work with them to manufacture about 1,000 to 2,000 doses of drug that then goes into human clinical trials. And typically we're talking about patients that are facing a disease where they really don't have treatment options, things like types of cancer, spinal cord injuries, neurodegenerative disorders, blindness. And so it's very rewarding to see some of these new therapies get to the patients where it can potentially help them.
As you look ahead, what is the future of the biomanufacturing industry in Wisconsin? And will it grow in importance to the state economy?
I think it will continue to grow. Right now, or in the past really, the biotech sector in Wisconsin has primarily been focused on biotech tools and diagnostics. And I think what we're going to start to see is a trend toward developing therapeutics, which is more complicated and costly. But we're going to see this primarily for two reasons. One is that the university is developing better infrastructure to support entrepreneurial activities and translational research. A couple of examples would be their new D2P program and WARF Accelerator program. And so as time goes on, I think that there's going to be a development and maturation of the ability to support spin-offs and the ability to support new therapeutics. And I think the second big reason that we'll continue to see development in therapeutics is UW and Wisconsin's leading role in pluripotent stem cell research.
Thanks, Derek, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, The Show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by White Hirschbeck Dudek, MG&E, and UW-Milwaukee. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent Foot Executive Search. See you next time.